talking about setting, so I want you to just think about this part as my teacher model. So I'm going to teach you using a winter wonderland. I know that's not what you guys are writing about. Just bear with me so I can kind of talk you through what you're going to do for your own, all right? Today is not going to be about yours. I'm going to give you a different assignment today just for you to practice, and then I'll release that on the next day for you guys, all right? So what you're going to do is I want us to just study this picture. And I've attached it as well, so if you pull up the attachment, you can better see it. So I just want us to look at this. So go ahead and pause me. I want you to study this for like a good 30 seconds to a minute. I want you to know every single detail about this, okay? All right, so hopefully you studied through that picture. I'm going to go ahead to our next slide here. And what I want us to do is I want us to use the 5 sense method. What that is you're going to use your 5 senses to kind of immerse yourselves into the setting. Now, when your reader is reading about your setting, we don't see what you see, okay? Does that make sense? Like you know your setting, you know what you're trying to say, but as a reader, we might not fully understand that. So you need to show us in your words. I don't want you to just tell me. I don't want you to just tell me that we're in, Wisconsin, right? That doesn't really tell me a whole much. I want a lot more information. I want descriptions. And the way that you can do this is by that 5 sense method. So use your 5 senses. What do you hear? What do you smell, right? What do you feel? So think about these 5 senses in your setting, and that's going to really help you describe what your setting is. Because again, we're not there. You need to make us feel like we are there, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples here. So what do you see? So think about when you study this image, what did you see? I saw snow, a bird, trees, and I saw a cottage, and I saw some mountains. What does the snow feel like? So this is that touch sense. And this is really important, especially for us Floridians, right? A lot of us may have not seen snow, so it's really important to describe that so your reader can really understand what snow is like. It's cold, icy, soft, fluffy. What color is the sky? Instead of just saying that the sky is blue, really describe it. It's a deep blue with gray. What does the air smell like? I smell pine trees in this environment. Smoke from the chimney. There was a chimney there. Hot cocoa. So a lot of you might be like, Mrs. Jensen, this is just a picture, right? I didn't really actually smell anything. But when you close your eyes and you picture just this setting, what would you smell if you were there, right? What colors do you see? There's a lot of white, there's some green, we have some blue and some gray. Also there's some red, the door and the wreath, okay? What do you hear? Well, we're outside, so I bet I hear birds chirping. Now, this isn't New York City, right? So you're going to hear different things in whatever setting you're in. So it's really important to bring these other senses in to give the reader that sense of, okay, this is a really calm setting. I don't even see any roads, so this car probably hasn't even left in a while. There's snow that's packed on top of this car. So it's a very quiet, calm setting. Okay, how do you feel about the Winter Wonderland? It feels magical and cozy and peaceful. And is there anything that really stands out to you? Well, the snow could glisten in the sun, kind of like if you think about the water on a lake, it might glisten a little bit. And then the wreath, that also helps tell me about the setting of this story, right? I know this isn't a snow in March. I know this is a snow in December, right? We're getting ready for Christmas time is when we usually see wreaths. Now also about setting, you don't have to totally tell only about where it is. You can tell us when as well. So it's important to do both, to tell us where and when. What I mean by that is time. So you can tell us at 3:35 p.m. or at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or even you can just say after lunchtime, or you could say when the sun sets. All of these things are telling us when in the day this is happening, okay? Even using that wreath is telling us when, what time of the year. This is Christmas time, okay? So all of these are important, and all of these help your reader understand your setting. Today you will be doing something similar to this, and then you're going to put it into a full paragraph. So you're going to think about all of of your five senses, you're going to bring those together, and you're going to write a paragraph that really tells you about your setting. Now, when I read this paragraph out loud to you, I want you to really think about the details in it. It's not just telling us where we are, what we smell, it's really describing it. So when I read this to you, I want you to close your eyes, and you might feel silly, but no one's at home watching you. Just close your eyes and listen to me read. And I want to see if you can picture it in your mind, okay? I stepped out into a winter wonderland. The cold air stung my cheeks, so I pulled my scarf up closer to my face. As I looked around, I noticed a white blanket of snow covering the trees, ground, and houses. I was surprised by how quiet everything seemed. The only sound I could hear was my boots crunching in the snow. The smell of damp pine trees made the air feel fresh and clean. I felt so peaceful to be walking in such a magical place. All right, go ahead. You may open your eyes. So hopefully that really puts you into this setting. Today you're going to do your own paragraph, and it's going to be just as good as this one. So all they did is they used those things, those senses, and they put them into really good sentences, okay? So I stepped out into a winter wonderland. I'm going to give you your first sentence, and then you're just going to continue writing from there, okay? See how that's the same? I stepped into a winter wonderland. And then they jumped right into their senses. The cold air. So we know that it's cold. It stung my cheeks. So they're not just saying the air was cold, period. They're saying the air was cold, and then because it was cold, how did they feel? They felt their cheeks stinging, okay? So I always think about two parts. I want you to tell me your sense, and then I want you to describe it. So the sense was touch. The sense was that they felt cold. And I don't want you to just end your sentence there. I want you to tell me a little bit more about it. Because it was cold, my cheeks were stinging, right? And they even went further. They said because my cheeks were stinging, what did they have to do? They had to pull their scarf up so that they felt warmer. As I looked around, okay, so now she's telling us that we're doing our sight sense, okay, so we're looking around, and don't just tell me what you see, describe it. I noticed a white blanket of snow. So they're not just saying as I looked around I saw snow. They're describing the snow. What did the snow look like? It was white, and it was blanketed everywhere, okay? And they even tell us what it blanketed. It blanketed trees, the ground, and houses. And then they're telling us they were surprised how quiet everything seemed. So we're talking about the sense of hearing. The only sound, so now they're going further into their hearing sense. The only sound I could hear was my boots crunching in the snow. So they're not just saying the only sound I could hear was me walking. They're describing their walking. What did it sound like? Okay, so there's a difference here between show and tell. When you are telling somebody, this is not good. You would just tell them that you heard your boots. I heard boots. When you're showing somebody, you're really going in depth. Tell me what they sounded like. So if you close your eyes and you're here in this winter wonderland, yes, okay, I heard the boots, but what did they sound like? They sounded like crunching. Okay? So they said they sounded like crunching. And this is just so much better than this. Okay? All right. So today you're going to study this photo for 1 minute. Again, this is in the attachment. So go ahead and make sure if you didn't open the attachment already, the attachment's going to be your friend today. You're going to study this picture. This should be familiar to all of you. I tried to pick something that I figured all of you would recognize. This is Flagler Avenue over at New Smyrna Beach. This is Breakers Cafe, so a lot of you I'm sure have eaten there. This is close your eyes. What stood out to you when you closed your eyes? Use your five senses, okay? I've given you some questions. You don't need to write these down. They're just to kind of help you as you're looking at this picture, okay? And then and there are different questions in Seesaw. You do not have to answer them on the Seesaw because you're going to answer them in your paragraph. It might be a good idea to write them out on Seesaw and then like copy paste them into your paragraph, but that's completely up to you. So you'll see that there's about 9 sentences in Seesaw, which I'm going to show you on the next slide. You don't have to answer them, you're just doing your paragraph. Your grade is on your paragraph, okay? And again, your paragraph should be really showing, describing, using those senses, okay? So today you're writing about this picture using your 5 senses. You're writing a paragraph. Your grade is again on your paragraph, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you what your Seesaw will look like. Here are those sentences. Again, you do not have to type your answer here. Those are just to help you as you're writing your paragraph down here. That way you don't have to have a whole lot of screens open and like, okay, I need to look at these sentences to help me. But if you're going to write a really good paragraph, these sentences are going to help you, okay? As I looked around, I noticed everything was white and glistening. I could smell the smoke from the chimney in the distance. The snow felt like a cold snow cone crunching under my boots, right? So these are going to help you as you're writing your paragraph today, all right? Don't forget to look at the attachment and submit through Seesaw.